Hello everyone, I welcome you all for today's lecture is under the topic of kinematics. Under this topic there are different types of motion. So kinematics is identification of an object regarding to its acceleration, velocity and displacement without considering the force. This is known as kinematics, and in that we are having different types of motion. So today we will be discussing rectilinear motion. So first let us discuss the kinematics. It is the relationship between displacement, velocity and acceleration of a given motion without considering the force. This is what I have indicated earlier. So I will give an example for this. You can see that there is a movement of an object. So this module fully covers an object is under the state of motion. The previous three modules which we have discussed generally are static oriented concept, but now we are discussing dynamic oriented concept. So in that, kinematics and kinetics are the different topics. So here you can see a picture. There is a book in the hand of the person. You can see that he is dropping the book from certain height. Right now we are not interested in what is the force which is acted on the book in order to reach the floor. Right now we are only interested in what is the distance travelled by the book, with what speed the book is being travelled from one place to another, and what is the acceleration. These three things are we are going to identify in this topic. So if any object is under motion, definitely it will travel from one place to the other. So if it is traveling from one place to the other, you will be having a distance. So there is a two concept, distance and displacement. So this we will discuss further. And if a object is moving from one place to another, definitely it will have a velocity or a speed. So these are two concepts. It will have a rate of change of motion. It will have some rate of which the object is moving, and also the acceleration creates the object to move to particular speed or velocity. So let us discuss. Next is kinetics. This is the study of relationship between forces acting on a body. So in kinematics we will be not dealing with the amount of force which is being acted, but now in kinetics we will concentrate on what is the force acting on the body in order to move this much of distance, in order to displace. Like that, if you are only concentrating towards the force of an object, then the study is called kinetics. Also the mass of the body and the motion of the body is considered. In kinematics the mass is not considered, but in kinetics the mass will be considered. So the body can be of whatever weight. It can be 100 kilo or 1000 kilo or even 1 kilo. We will not be interested in dealing the mass of the object. So right now we will discuss the two component, displacement and distance. So here you can see a car. This car is traveling from, so you can take it of initial position to the end position. So you can see that the car is moving from a particular place and it is reaching to a particular place. So the displacement is generally from initial to final, what is the distance which is being covered. That is, it will be the shortest path connecting through them. So finally what happened to this car? This car is displaced from one place to another. So this is what the concept displacement. It is a vector quantity and it is generally positive or negative. So if you consider this as a coordinate, so if this is the origin position, if the object is displaced in bottom, then it is negative, and if the object which is displaced to the top, then it is assumed generally as positive. Likewise for left and right. So distance is generally a scalar quantity, and which is the actual path traveled by the object. Here you can see the car is traveled from the initial position to point A, and then you are having a bend 1, 2 and 3. With this 3 bend, the object reaches the destination. So the distance traveled by the car is being considered. So this is known as distance, and it is the actual path connecting, and it is always positive. Whenever object is moving, then the object will always have a positive aspect towards the motion. So this is always absolute and positive. Next thing is velocity and speed. Here a single component is being varied for these two concepts. For velocity, if you consider only displacement, that is, you are not considering the path of travel, then it is known as velocity. The rate of change of displacement with respect to time is called velocity, and it is indicated by v. So if you differentiate a particular distance, so x here indicates a distance with respect to dt, here t is known as time. If you differentiate a particular distance with respect to time, then you will be getting velocity. Then what you mean by speed is the rate of change of distance. Here you can see the odd component instead of displacement. If you identify the distance, rate of change of distance traveled by the particle with respect to time is called speed. So here speed is indicated by the letter u. So, and there is another terminology called instantaneous velocity and average velocity. At a particular instant, here you can see a moving car. For each and every particular instant, it has some velocity. Velocity is distance traveled by time. So distance unit is meter and time unit is second. So velocity's unit will be meter per second. So for each and every instant, you are having a velocity that is known as instantaneous velocity. So instantaneous velocity is the velocity of moving particle at a certain instant of time. When the time delta is taken as 0, generally delta x by delta t will be the instantaneous velocity. And the average velocity will be, if you are having number of instant, number of distance it is being covered, so all the instantaneous velocity is being added up to n divided by the n. If you apply this, you will be getting the average velocity. Average velocity is when an object undergoes change in velocity at different instant. So here the car has only a single velocity, that is 1 meter per second. In some cases, the car can move at a particular velocity of 1 meter, and it can go up to 3 meter, 5, and then it can reach 1 to 0. If you want average velocity, you have to add the 4 component, divided by 4, you will get the average velocity. Next, the two terminology component, acceleration and average acceleration. So if you need acceleration, you have to differentiate the velocity with respect to time. So the rate of change of velocity with respect to time is known as the acceleration. So here, if you differentiate v, the velocity with respect to time, you will get the acceleration. And next component is, if you want average acceleration, you have to find instantaneous velocity divided by instantaneous time. You will get the average velocity. Here you can see that this vehicle is moving in a constant acceleration. At any particular instant, you can see the acceleration is same. And next concept is acceleration due to gravity. So this a very well known concept. All the objects in this world is being attracted by the earth. So irrespective of the mass of each and every component, the force of attraction is same. Even you can take a large aeroplane, it can have a 100 to 1000 tons of self weight. The attraction of gravity is same, that is 9.81. For a aeroplane also this attraction is same for a human which is having a 80 or 90 kilogram. So the acceleration due to gravity of all the object in the earth is being attracted by a same constant called acceleration due to gravity. Each and every object in this world is being attracted by the same acceleration. So here you can see that first case you are having one book, and if you are adding two book, 3, 4, like that, if the mass is being increased for each and every book, so the weight of the book will be increased. Even though if you drop from a particular height, all the object will be attracted by the earth in a common acceleration called g. So this will be 9.81 meter per second square, so that all the book is attracted with the same acceleration. And next, the concept of Newton's law of motion. Here we will discuss the Newton's law of motion. The first law says that all the objects will be in a particular state of rest or uniform motion unless a certain force stop the object. You can see that the object is being initiated from the rest because of the force due to gravity. That is why the object is moving. And if you have a wall, the motion of the object is being stopped due to this striking of the wall. And the second concept is, the law states that the rate of change of momentum of the body is directly proportional to the impressed force, and it takes place in the direction of force acting on it. So you can take an example of a football. The football is going to travel in a particular direction by the action of the force. So whoever is playing this football, according to the momentum, according to the force which is being acting towards the object and the direction, the object is going to move in a particular direction. So this is the Newton's second law. And third law is states that the action and reaction are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. There is a cannon here. If the cannon is blasting, you can see that an equal and opposite reaction is being acted for this cannon, so that the cannon displaces from the initial position when it is triggered. So these are the example of Newton's law of motion. Here why we are interested in Newton's law of motion? Why? Because the kinematics is a study of motion. That is why if we understand the concept of Newton's law of motion, which will give a better understanding towards the motion of an object. Next, we will land into types of motion. So there are three types of motion. They are a rectilinear motion, which is a straight path. An object can move in a straight path with a constant increase or decrease of motion in an object. Or a second concept is curvilinear motion. That is, if an object which is moving other than the straight line, then it is known as a curvilinear motion. So you can take this as an example. This is not a straight line, you are having a curved path, or any deviation from a straight line, which is called a curvilinear motion. And the third concept is projectile motion. So generally in projectile, all the object will be moving upwards with some inclination towards the horizontal. There will be some angle with respect to the horizontal component. Also, it will reach a particular distance after the projection of the motion, and you can identify the distance. So these are the three types of motion which is being discussed. So right now, the list of important formulas in order to identify the components of kinematics. What are they? They are velocity, displacement, velocity and acceleration. So if you want to identify this component for an object or for a particle, you have to know this concept in order to solve the problem. First thing what you have to understand is, if you differentiate the distance with respect to time, you will get the velocity, and again if you differentiate the velocity with respect to time, you will get the acceleration. This is a first concept. And next, if you need acceleration, if you need velocity in terms of speed, here you can see that v is velocity and u is speed, plus a and t. A here is acceleration and t in terms of seconds, time in seconds. So in any of the problem, you need, if a speed is given and velocity is being asked, you can use this formula. Also, if you are having an average velocity at a two particular point of time, you are having a velocity that is v1 and v2, you can find the average acceleration by using v2 minus v1 divided by t. And the third concept, s, here is known as distance. Distance can be considered as s if you want distance in terms of velocity or in terms of speed. For a particular problem, the given data might be in terms of speed or in terms of velocity. You have to use ut plus 1 by 2 at square. Instead of u, if you are substituting v, you can identify the distance travelled by the object. Here t is time and a is acceleration and s is the distance. Also, there is an equation for the three components. Here you can see velocity and speed in terms of acceleration and distance. So if you are identifying a particular kind of a problem, both the component of velocity and speed along with acceleration and displacement, you can use this formula. According to the particular problem and with the given data, what are all the things we know, we can use this formula in order to find the three components. So let us get into a topic and solve some problem regarding the rectilinear motion of an object. Here the motion of a particle is given in terms of equation. Here the distance s is given as x. So an object which is traveling in a path with this equation. So each and every object in this universe has its own equation. So this is a scientific part of this mechanics. So for each and every object, you are having a definite equation. So if we identify the equation of the object, you can solve many number of unknown. For a rocket to move from one place to another place, you can make it into an equation, the path of travel, and you can identify the distance traveled at particular time. Say for example, if a rocket is traveling in a space, if you know the equation of the rocket, you can identify at half an hour what is the distance covered by the rocket. So we cannot go and directly measure the distance traveled by the rocket. So if you know the equation of the motion, you can identify the distance traveled and the speed of the object. So this is how the object distance and the kinematics is being identified for each and every object. So right now we will be finding the time, distance traveled and acceleration of the particle when the velocity becomes 0. Here you have to find the distance, acceleration and time when velocity becomes 0. So let us solve this problem. The equation is given t cube minus 3t square minus 9t plus 12. So this is a displacement component and the remaining component is a time oriented component. So the only unknown is t. So if we know the equation for displacement, then we can identify the remaining component of velocity. So if we differentiate with respect to time, we will get the velocity. Right now if you differentiate, t cube will become 3t square and 3t square will become 3 2 3s are 6 and 6t and 9t will become 9 and the constant will vanish. So right now we have found out the velocity. How to find acceleration? You have to differentiate this answer at another time with respect to time, then you will get the acceleration. Right now, to find the velocity first, let us substitute velocity at the time 0. So if you equate this component with respect to 0, you will be getting t. So right now you are having a component of t square and t. The above equation is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. So the unknown component is x here and the constant are a is 3, b is 6 and c is 9. So in order to find the solution, we will use the equation below, and if we find, we will be getting two answer of t. So the only unknown is t, so the t is plus and minus of the solution. So t is minus 1 and t is 3 seconds. So definitely we know that any distance traveled, if there is any distance, that it will be an absolute value. Definitely it will be in a positive side. So that is why we will consider t as 3. So right now the first component is being identified, the time is 3. If you found the concept of t, so right now our point of interest is distance traveled. So after identifying the 3 seconds, we have to substitute in this equation of x. So x is distance. So if you substitute 3 in terms of t, you will be getting a distance of minus 15. So next component will be acceleration. If you differentiate the velocity another time, you will be getting 2 3s are 6 or minus 6. So 6 or minus 6 is the component. After differentiating, if you substitute instead of t with 3, you will be getting the acceleration. So right now we found the acceleration, distance and time. If you need velocity, you can substitute the 3 in the velocity equation. So next we shall solve a next problem. Here the acceleration of a particle is given as minus 2 meter per second square. The unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Why? Because the distance is being differentiated twice. So that is why second square is the unit, and velocity's unit is 8 meter per second, and x distance is given is 0 and time is 0. At a particular time, you are having the component of acceleration and velocity and distance. Right now what you have to find is determine velocity and distance at t equal to 6 seconds. So for 0 second you are having an acceleration and a velocity. Then you need the particle's velocity and distance when it is at 6 seconds of time. So right now you have to find the equation first. So the values are given here. You have to find the equation. In order to substitute in the equation, you will be getting the solution. How to find the equation? Just you have to reverse the concept. So the reversal of differentiation is integration. So that if acceleration is given here, you have to reverse this. So you have to integrate with respective to t. So right now, what do you mean by a is acceleration? This is dv by dt. So if you differentiate velocity with respective to time, is known as acceleration. So let us cross multiply here, and right now you know the concept of a is minus 2. Let us substitute here and we integrate. So why to integrate? To identify the velocity. So with this acceleration we are going to the concept of velocity. So if you integrate this, you will be getting, so differentiation will get vanished. So v equals 2 dt. So if you integrate with respect to t, so you will be getting 2t plus a constant. So always a constant will be there while integrating. So after that we arrived an equation. So right now you know from this equation that velocity is 8 meter per second and time is 0, which is given in the data. And if you substitute velocity and time, you can find the constant. So the constant is found as c equal to 8. So the c is identified as 8. So if you substitute here, consider it as the equation 2. So if you further integrate the velocity, you will be getting the distance. So from this equation, if you substitute t equal to 6, so 2 into 6 is 12. So this will be minus 12 plus 8. So minus 12 plus 8 will be minus 4. So right now first component we have identified v equal to minus 4. So next, if you need distance, second concept is a distance. So how to find distance? We are having a velocity equation. Further you have to integrate the velocity equation. So what is generally a velocity? Dx by dt. So we know the velocity. So the velocity equation is, if you cross multiply with this, v dt. So v, we already know, v is 2r plus 8. So if you substitute 2r plus 8, and you will be having the differentiation component. If you integrate this, you will be getting the pure component of distance. So if you integrate the differentiation and integration will get vanished, you will be getting only x. And if you integrate with respect to time, you will be getting t will become t square by 2, and 8t will be, a new component will be arriving, and plus a constant of k. So after arrival of this component, we have to identify the k component. Right now we know that at a particular time x and t equal to 0. So if you substitute x and t equal to 0 in this equation, you will get the k component. So if you substitute this as 0, finally k is also a 0 component. So the k value is substituted in this equation. So k will become 0. Right now displacement is minus t square plus 8t. So in this equation, if you substitute t equal to 6, you will be getting x equal to 84 meter. This is the way of identifying the velocity and displacement. This is another kind of a problem where the equation is not given. The acceleration, velocity and the displacement is given at a particular point of time. So if something is asked like that, you have to reverse the concept of differentiation into integration. Then you will find the components. Let us have a third example. So right now a car is traveling at a speed of 72 km per hour. So right now you have to note that in the previous problem we have discussed only about velocity. Right now here we are discussing with the speed. So that is why u is being indicated here. So u is a letter which is used to indicate the speed. So u here is 72 km per hour. So generally you have to convert all the velocity component in terms of velocity or speed component in terms of meter per second. So we will proceed when we are solving. And a car is traveling at a speed of 72 km per hour. This car observes the light of 300 meter ahead of him turning red. So there is a post here. So he has to cross a 300 meter from the signal. The requirement here is, if the motorist wishes to pass the light without stopping to wait for it to green, you have to quickly pass this distance in order to cross the signal. So what you have to do is determine the required uniform acceleration of the car. So at what acceleration should be operated in order to reach the destination, and the speed with which the motorist crosses the traffic light. So what is the speed and the acceleration which is required in order to cross the signal. So regarding this, you are having a formula called S equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. So this is the formula you have to use here. Why? Because the two components are given. What are they? U and S. S is distance and U is speed. So the two component is given. The only, and also the time component, which is 20 seconds is remaining, so also t is also given. The only one unknown is acceleration. So you can use this equation in order to find the acceleration. Also the second equation which we will use here is v equal to u plus at. Here you know u, acceleration, and t. You can find the velocity. So let us solve the problem. T is known as 20 seconds and speed is known as 72 km per hour. In order to convert into meter per second, so to convert kilometer into meter, you have to multiply by 1000. For converting hour into second, that is 60 into 60. So you have to divide this component in order to get in a unit of meter per second. So u in meter per second is being substituted here, that is 20. Yes, the distance traveled should be 300 and the component of t is known as 20. So if you substitute all the component, the only unknown is a. You can find the acceleration by this equation. After finding the acceleration, you can use the second formula. You can refer the list of formula. So by the second formula, you can find the velocity component. So u is 20, a is minus 0.5 and t is 20 seconds. You will be getting in terms of meter per second. If you substitute all the components in meter and second, the final answer will be in meter per second. So this is how you have to solve the problem regarding the rectilinear motion. Here you have to note that all the three problems which we have dealt here are moving in a straight line. For solving this, we have to use the list of formula. Those equations will help us to solve the problem. They will help us to identify the acceleration, velocity and displacement for a particular point of time. So I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.